which is the opposite of awareness. And again, that's why I call this class financial consciousness, because conscious people don't typically fall into those traps as much. So when people talk about really like what it means to be woke or stay woke, that's my version of staying woke. Staying woke means head on a swivel, be alert, check your surroundings, be knowledgeable, and make sure you know what's going on. All right. What else? They hide the odds and probabilities. They don't really tell you what the odds are when you make the bets, because if they did that, then they'd let you know. Then they'd let you in on their secrets. And a lot of the bonuses and free bets come with a lot of major waging requirements and stuff and restrictions. So they give you something free. It's usually not free. Here are a couple other stats that should probably scare the shit out of you. Excuse my French. I cussed. I didn't mean to do that, but they scare the hell out of me. Because it tells you what happens when you get stuck in the cycle of gambling addiction, which is why this is a really, in my view, a state of emergency. 96% of all people with a gambling disorder also have some other psychiatric condition. 96%. So they either have depression or anxiety, which is linked to all the financial stress that comes with chasing losses and trying to figure out a way to get out of the hole, stuff like that, or worrying about whether the book is going to kill your grandmother and break your legs, and they do all that. Go listen to the mobsters. Go listen to Michael Francis talk about how they trap young men, a lot of black men, a lot of young black men who are athletes at universities, and they pretend to be their friend, and they know exactly like how they're gonna get them roped in, and then next thing you know, they're fixing games. They're fixing games to get out of a gambling debt. And they're not going to tell their mother. So you have to just talk to your son about it and hope that he listens. About 20% of problem gamblers end up filing for bankruptcy. 50% of those with severe gambling addictions engage in criminal acts like theft or fraud to sustain their behavior. 50%, half. So half of them end up stealing stuff, scamming their friends, etc. And and so this is interesting. I mean, but that's true, right? And I mean, addictions will do that. I had that cousin who would rob, who got introduced to cocaine. He had his dream. He wanted to be a singer, and he got a chance to go to LA. LA is literally hell on wheels. It's literally the devil's playground. So he goes to LA at 15 years old because his parents thought he was realizing his dream. This is the thing. We have the wrong dreams sometimes, and you hand your children over to the devil. And he goes on the road with a famous group, and they introduced him to cocaine at 15 years old when his brain's still developing, and he was a cocaine addict for the rest of his life. And he eventually killed himself after his wife left him because he kept going to jail, and he would commit criminal acts to get access to the drugs. Right. So don't you dare ever come to me with something that you think is a dream, or when people talk about being successful and being black, half these damn people talking about success ain't successful at all. You get these dumbass rappers and entertainers coming to your public school, and athletes talking to your kids about, well, if you do blah blah blah, you could be just like me. Some of these people, you don't want your kids to be like them. I don't want my kids to be like you, because I know your life. I've seen that. Like, I know the entertainers. I know the famous people. I sat next to Damon Dash as he was destroying his finances, and I said, man, this is so interesting that there are people out there. There are black people who really want to imitate all this. I don't want your life. Dame was my friend. He's a very nice guy. I'm just, and it hurts my heart to have to talk like this. But I sat there and I was like, I would not want his life. There's a lot of stress because you're trying to maintain an illusion, and this ain't living, man. This is not. I don't want no, sir, nobody.